Okay, good afternoon, folks. Hope everything is well. 6th of January. I can't believe we're nearly a week into January already. Christmas is. I popped to the shop over the weekend, and all signs of Christmas have been stripped and gone. It's kind of like it was never here, isn't it? It's amazing, isn't it? So I hope everyone's had a relaxing weekend and a good Christmas and a good New Year. And I actually did a little bit of work on. I did a little bit of work on my goals for the year over the last couple of days. What I had last year, what I'm expecting this year, what I'm going to try and change, things I'm putting into place. I'll talk about them shortly. Market is opening in about 2 minutes. So, Daryl, good morning to you. Jan, how you doing, buddy? Speedy, how are you? So, yeah, well, we've got a couple of minutes. I'll talk about them now. So pretty straightforward, really. Continue to work on my discipline and patience. Risk management, I've messed around with this on and off, but from now on, I am on one loss and I am done for the day. Whenever I have anything but there, I tend to have problems. Now, I was down a chunk on Friday. I think I was down about 750 quid on Friday. And I hadn't set my Guardian Angel trader because I've been picking up some new accounts. So I deactivated it. Afternoon, Scruff. How you doing, buddy? So to cut a long story short, I did take another trade. It was a failure. It actually rocketed up, to be fair, but I took 4 points. So I was only ended up down about $300 on Friday, which wasn't too bad. Karina, good morning to you. So it ended a little bit better, but 2 losses, I think, is too much trading for 2 contracts. Because, like I say, they can be around 700. 700, I think, is too much for a loss for the day. So, how long we got left? We got 30 seconds. So, yeah. So, 1 loss maximum day, and then I finish. My trading time is 5 minutes after the market opens till 6 o'clock. And my GAT settings allowed trading times 1 loss a day, max 2 contracts, and I have 1 hour where I can unlock it before I trade. So no more new evals till I withdraw some money, and to aim to get consistent monthly profits. So that's my aim for 2025. I think it's good to open the year with, okay, market is open. I think it's good to open the year with something positive and something to focus on for the coming year. Last year was better than the year before, but I want this to be a much better year. So, what's going on here? So, let me just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now, I can't trade. As you can see, my buy and sell buttons are out of action for the first 5 minutes of the open, which is a shame because it looks like we're getting a nice second entry long here. But there you go. I think it's better to avoid the first 5 minutes. Sometimes it doesn't make a difference, but I have got in before market moves a little quick and I ended up getting stung. I wouldn't have got in there anyway, to be fair. We did have a little pullback, but I'd have preferred that to touch that EMA, really. But it's hard to say, is there a break here? We could probably adjust this so it hasn't had a break, and maybe that's a correction, a couple of bounces, and then a push above the EMA. So I'd say there's a good chance this is going to either one, we're ranging, there's a bounce off. It's funny, I've had that like for 10 minutes, and Thomas Wade's just this second put it on 31. So he's looking at the same thing, which gives me a little bit of confidence in my why can I not move that? In my thought process. Don't do this to me now, you goddamn bloody thing. I hate that. It fries my brain. It shouldn't do that. I should be able to move it. Excuse me. Just while I throw another monitor out the window. That's so annoying. The trouble is it'll come straight back out the same place. I need to figure out how to do this. Right. Why can I not move it? I should be able to move that. Oh, God, give me strength. Help. How can I get rid of this? Why can't I move it? I've done this before. How do I get rid of this? Any idea? I need to move it off the screen, but it's gone slightly high and I can't move it. I should be able to move it as the top's still in. Any ideas before I delete the thing altogether? God, that's so damn annoying. From Task Manager. I can close it. I can close it here. The trouble is, it opens up when I reopen it. It opens exactly the same place. Windows key and arrow. That's it. I've heard that before. So Windows key and arrow. Oh, that's done it. Okay, let's see if it comes back up again. Yeah, damn the thing. So I've hit Windows key and arrow. And do it to the left. Ah, that should. 11. There we go. I can move it. Brilliant. Thanks for that, buddy. That's so annoying. Windows key and arrow. Yeah. Okay. Excuse me a sec. Too much light coming in the window. Okay. So this looks like we've either got something larger or we're just testing these highs or possibly. Thanks for that, Tony. Good morning to you, bud. I still forget. It is annoying. I'm going to try and remember that one. As soon as you said Windows key, it kind of came back to me. So is there something larger looming? It's possible. It's probably a bit too early to, but that does look like it's pushing up. So maybe there's a break, maybe not. Maybe this thing is just going up anyway. So channel break, a couple of pushes to a new high. Now, some may short this. I can't for another 30, 40 seconds anyway, even if I wanted to. But generally, I usually avoid these just in case it triggers and continues on up. We have broken a high by a tick or two. So it is add 3 touches, but this to me looks like it may continue on, which means that might be a bit of a trap and trap some shorts. We'll see. If we get a lower high, then sometimes I'll take that if there's enough room back to that EMA. That ATR is quite high at the moment. So my trade should highlight here now. Okay, so let me just check. Everything's opening. We've got no news, have we?
Order submitted.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Perfect. 2 contracts. And
order cancelled.
Like it should be. Brilliant. Okay. We're up and running. So we've got a little channel there with a break and a few pushes up. So let's see now whether this thing ranges. So we've got a push up. We've had 1 attempt to go lower. Let's see if we get a second attempt, in which case then we may move higher. But looking on the daily is saying that there's a good chance we are moving upwards now. As we know, we're in an uptrend here, and we've kind of had 3 pushes down. So this looks like it's going to go up. Having said that, we've only got to get a pullback of half a candle here before it goes higher, and that could mean a massive difference. So this doesn't necessarily tell us much at the moment, bar, over a longer period. We look like we're moving up. So that would have worked for a few points. I wouldn't have taken it. It's about a 5-point risk. And as I say, my guardian angel doesn't allow me to trade the first 5 minutes. That's how I have mine set. If anybody doesn't know what guardian angel is, I did start a Facebook group because I think we need one. There isn't any that I'm aware of. No, there's no discounts, there's no affiliates, there's nothing like that. It's just something to chat about if anybody's using it and anybody finds any little problems or any snags that they can't figure out. Yeah, I think it's if you're struggling to walk away, I think it's a no-brainer, Speedy. I haven't got that mental strength yet, if I'm honest. I like to think I have. It's certainly better than it was, but it saves you from yourself. Yeah, we all know trading, there's a big emotional connection, and it does get better, but it does take time. And if there's a piece of software out there which would basically take over our computer and stop us from trading, I think it makes sense if it's available to use it. It's not cheap. Having said that, if you lose 3 accounts, it's more or less paid for itself. I think it's about $399, €250. Sorry, €350 at about £300 UK. But I think it's worth it. Because you blow 2 or 3 accounts, so maybe there's something larger there. It's possible, but I wouldn't bank on that at the moment, because for me it looks like we may be ranging here. So we got a channel down with a break. So Thomas Wade has got that as a spike in channel. So let's give it a go on my chart. Looks okay to me. So maybe it is a spike in a channel, but I wouldn't consider looking for a long here. It actually triggered below there. So maybe this is going higher, but it also looks rangy, so it may trigger that bull bar and come down. It hasn't triggered anyway, but there is a possible failure on my other chart. Try go once, lower high, but that's above the EMA at the moment. And not only that, if we have got a spiking channel, we could have a leg and it may go higher, so I'm probably going to sit tight here. Because it's quite likely going to be a bit rangy. Now let's see what happens here. ATR still a bit high. I like it under 3. You shorted the top there, did you? Yeah, I don't think it was a terrible trade at all. We got a channel with a break, and we've hit this area 3 times. And not only that, it's always nicer if it traps a big bull bar, which it has. So I think you're definitely going to get something out of that. I just tend to avoid those at the moment. I'm not very good. It's not one of my strong points, picking tops and bottoms, if I'm honest. So channel down off the top of this possible range with a break. Let's see if we get a second entry short here. But it could possibly go higher. Yeah, I think if you can admit to yourself, I think some people kind of pretend they can do it, when I think if you look inside yourself, I don't think it shows weakness at all. I think it shows being sensible. If you can look at yourself and say, I struggle, perhaps I need a bit of help. I think that's a strong point. Okay, so that is pushing higher, so maybe it's a spike in a channel. Straight up new high there, so actually that is, well, really, you could call it higher low, second entry short, maybe. But at the moment, I don't know whether it's bouncing off here and it's going to test it a couple of times and come down here and retest this, or whether it's going to push higher. So if this does continue up, I think what I may do is just stretch that a little bit and see if that works. I actually don't think it's too bad. Touch. I think that's not too bad. We've gone up quite steep. We've had a bit of a break, new high. We've had a few tests of this area, and we couldn't get down, and it's pushing up at a slightly less steep angle. I'm watching a different channel up. Took a second entry long and a higher low. Yeah. My other channel, there's some sort of opportunities. I think the only issue I have about going along at the moment is the fact that we've come up 3 times and we've pushed down. So I'm a little bit uncertain of whether this is going to, because you never quite know where it's going to go. You know, you have your suspicions. We've had quite a strong move up there. We've had one attempt to go lower. So although we've bounced a few times, we may have another attempt before it pushes higher. That's if it goes higher. Ultimately, you never quite know. But if anybody's looking for a good series to watch on Sky, I'm assuming you can get it in the UK. Lockerbie, Colin Firth. I've been watching it for the last couple of nights. It's excellent. It's about the Lockerbie bombing in the late 80s. If you're after some gripping drama, it's quite full on in parts, but it's really interesting to watch. Lockerbie, it's called. I know we can get it on Sky. It's available on Sky here in the UK, but I'm not sure about other parts of the world. But usually there's a way of watching it. I think most have Sky nowadays. Name. It's called Lockerbie. It's Colin Firth, and he's a doctor, and his daughter was killed, and he starts to look into it. It's really good, actually. There was a lot of lies about who it was. I think I haven't watched it all yet. There was a couple of guys prosecuted, I believe, that were in a Scottish prison, which were let loose. I think one of them was released, I don't know, 7-8 years ago, something like that, because he had cancer. He ended up living a bit longer, but I don't know. Some people say it wasn't him, it was the Syrians. I've only watched, I think, the first. I'm in episode 3, but it's called Lockerbie. It's a really, really interesting watch, really well done. But as I say, it's quite full on. So if you're a little bit squeamish, just keep that in mind. So this to me kind of looks like we're working up. So that's kind of what I got at the moment. Where's my... oh, there, that's what I want. Capture image. A very strong blizzard. I bet you do. Yeah, there's some bad weather around. I know we've had some in the UK, all over the UK. Take my 2 trays before I lose electric power. Here, 1 metre of snow. Oof. I think we've had about, I don't know, where I am, Shropshire, which is kind of West Midlands. We've had, I don't know, maybe an inch and a half, inch or 2, something like that. But I know certain parts of Yorkshire, they always get it around the Pennines as well, the Lake District area. And obviously, generally, the further north you go, so obviously you're Norway, aren't you? So that's pretty north. So I don't doubt you've got some strong weather. Thomas Way's just posted that, so he's looking at the same thing as me, exactly the same. So I do like to just compare with other people. I can see his and others, but it just gives me that little bit of, you know, something that I can compare. So we are above this line now. We've come back and retested it and pushed up again. So if we can get a second entry short, that may interest me. I did want this to push a bit higher before it comes back. So what I am going to do now is just draw a measured leg and see if that may give us a reference point to where this thing may go. So let's have a look back. Have we been up here for a while? Up here. So not for a while. So maybe 6 days ago, 7 days ago, 5 days ago, something like that. I do. There's a YouTube channel I watch. There's a couple who live in Svalbard, which is, I believe they're under Norwegian law, I think. And I watch them, and they've got that. What's the word I'm looking for? That keeps the seeds. That vault which keeps seeds. I can't remember, something like 10,000 different species of seeds locked deep in the ground, kept at ridiculously cold temperatures, just in case. I don't know, any time mankind ever sort of got himself in that much of a pickle that we need to kind of start. I don't want to say start all over again. It sounds a little bit morbid, but so hopefully I'll be taking a payment by the end of this week. So I may take, I don't know, I may take up to $6,000. I have followed all the rules, but I've got another few days of trading yet, and 2 of them need to be profit. So all being well, I may take 6,000. I may just take half of that. We'll see what my accounts are like then. Yeah, thanks, Daryl. I could have taken him in. I could have taken him a bit earlier, but I wanted to wait till the new year to kind of give me a good bit of boost. But I want to try and aim for something every month. I'm not too fussed about how much it is, just to try and get some regular. I mean, even if it's $500 per account, something like that, and I don't think it's a big arse to get that. So I'm going to open up an order down here. Just
Order
in case.
submitted.
There it is. Something looks nicer on my other chart. Trouble is, it's 14 ticks. No, it's 18 ticks. Just show you my other chart here. We've kind of, there's our first entry. Or has it broken? It has broken above there, and that's a nice strong bar off there. I like it. Trouble is, there's not much room to the lows, and it's 22 ticks. So, unfortunately for me, I'm having to stay out this. I'm not getting involved in 22 ticks, tick above, tick below, 24 ticks. I'm not risking like 6 points, 5 points on that. No chance. Is it going to continue up? It may do, but there is a little bit of vacant space here, and as I say, we're very close to the tops here, so it may trigger and bounce and go a bit sideways here, and I do not want to get in for 24 ticks and end up going sideways. So I'm going to sit tight here unless it triggers it and comes back a little bit. So let's see what would have happened if it was a little bit less. I would have had a go, but I want a little bit more room to these tops, really. It does look like it may work. That was my concern. There's a little bit of support here, and that's what worries me, and that was my worry that this comes back, because there is a little bit of space below there. So I was right to act cautiously there, because that is 22 ticks, tick above, tick below. It is technically a second entry long. We've got one leg back, as we can see. Second leg back. It's a nice strong bar off the EMA, and it may hold, but I do not want to get in that much and end up coming back to there and end up losing that trade. It looked like it was flat. There wasn't much space. If it had finished here, there was enough space to the top. Yeah, triple test. For me at the moment, though, it's still counter trend because it is quite a strong bar, so it may come back a bit, but not enough. So 1, 2, 3. This may be a triple test to go long. Is that what you're on about, Brant? You're on about triple test. Oh, sorry, yeah. I thought you were on about triple test short. Let me just pull this one out of the way and check my other one. Unfortunately, we haven't triggered below. It is 2 legs back. I'm going to get an order ready just in case, because I don't want to be caught short. So we got 1 leg back and a second leg back. I don't think that's a terrible place to go long, in all fairness. Thomas Wade said he's considering the higher low. I would prefer that to break below that, in which case it may interest me. But same principle, the bar's big and there's not much space to the top. So I am just going to sit tight. You can clearly see there is a little bit of support there now. It may hold, it may bounce back, it may not. Yeah, look at this. Look at this forming here. So who knows what this is going to do. So I'm just going to shut this trade down just for the
Order
minute.
cancelled.
Having said that, this may trap some shorts. It hasn't triggered. There's a failure there. Well, sort of a failure. It may trap some shorts there, but I don't know. 1, 2, 3. You could call that a triple test. I prefer that to break below there, though. So, same again. It hasn't even broke below the lower high there, or the failure, whichever one. It's technically not a failure, is it? But that's the failure. But I'm just being a little cautious. I prefer to trigger there, come down a bit lower. So, stop that at break even. Yeah, it's definitely worked. It is frustrating that. So you jumped in. Did you put it to break even too soon? Mind you, you do that a lot, and but go for more points. So all in all, it may work. It probably still works in your favour. But you're in it again, are you? We're hitting this level a third time. This concerns me a little bit. Went break even 8 ticks. Yeah, you think sometimes 8 ticks is enough. 4 ticks, I'd say no, but 8 ticks. But now, to me, we are finding a little bit of support here, so we may get a break. We're at the top of the channel here. We're coming away from it here, and we are struggling to get up, so this may lead to a break. So I'm just sitting tight. If you're in it, Brant, I hope you're okay, mate. You may be okay. But just because we haven't quite reached that top, I'm just exercising a bit of caution here. On the first go around. Small profit. Okay, a profit's profit, isn't it? I mean, it'd probably work. But just the fact that we're hitting an area and finding it a little bit difficult to get through. This may lead to a break. I like how it fits at the moment, but as I say, we're at the top of the channel there, we're at the top there, we're at the top there, and we're struggling a little bit, and then we come back, push up again, and same again, we are struggling to get up, so yeah, they are. So I mean, it is 2 legs back. It's a shame, really, that wasn't a little bullish bar, because that may have interested me off the bottom there. It certainly would have given me 3 points. Comfortably. 3 points, I'd have been out of there before the top. So if that was a little bullish bar after 2 legs down, I would have had a go at that. Unfortunately, it wasn't even on my other chart. Still 2 legs down. I don't know, some may have a go at that. But for me, it's neutral, really, isn't it? So I have to leave that, unfortunately. Okay, my other chart, there is a failure. But same again, we're at the tops again already, so no setup for me. Yeah, we did kind of have a failure there, but look at how it's finished. We're up here already, which might mean we're going to continue on. So let me just check this measured leg. So we've still got plenty of space if this is going to push up for a second leg. But I still would like to see a break here. I mean, we've cleared those highs. Any possible stops that may have shorted there, that's cleared some of them out. So I would want to see a break here, really, and it looks like we may get one. We're struggling to get to the top, and obviously here as well we're hitting some sort of support or some difficulty getting through. So you may consider triple test here. Trouble is 1, 2, 3. We've kind of already had a triple test, haven't we? See, I'd be looking for 2 legs or a second entry long from me. If I was going to take a trade off the bottom, I'd be looking for a second entry long, really, rather than just another bounce. See, you may adjust this a slight and incorporate that. In fact, if you actually drag that to that bottom and bring that out a touch, you may even argue it fits. In fact, it probably does. It's a tough one. No, it doesn't. The trouble is, if you're adjusting your charts at the same time you're looking for a trade, could get you in a bit of bother here. Has anybody else adjusted their charts? Let me have a look. Yeah, Thomas Wade has still got his like that. So I'm going to leave mine there as well. We could get a second entry long here. I'll have to see. Let's just have a little zoom out. So we're around about this 50 area, aren't we? Light news incoming, yeah. News. Okay, you're on about light news, and it's all right. I thought you were on about that. I'm going to say that's happened, isn't it? So. It did come back here and push up. Unfortunately, there's just no entry there, really. Not on my other chart, neither. So if you had a slightly more bullish bar and you did enter there, I don't know, it was terrible. If that had been bullish, I'd have had a go at that for sure. 2 nice legs back off this area here, I'd have had a go at that. And even if you had done and held for higher, this never came back. So there is a possible higher low here. I'm staying out of this because after such a big channel, I'd be surprised if we had a tiny break and push straight up. If that's the case, if that happens, I'm guessing this channel is slightly wider, but it rarely has a small break like that and just pushes straight up to a new high, which means I'd stay out of that trade. But there is a possibility this could be slightly wider, in which case it may go up. In fact, I'll tell you what I'll do. Let's just have a little manoeuvre around with this and see how it fits. It looks okay here. Touch, touch. It doesn't always have to get down to the bottom. The top's not terrible. I think I'd be inclined to just assume that that may be the case, but just leave it where it is for now. And if it does continue up, then I may adjust. But sometimes if you adjust too quick, it can get into trouble. Now that is just going straight up to these highs again, so I'm guessing unless it does come back down here first. If that does push above this, I'm guessing that this is likely a wider channel, because that I wouldn't expect a tiny break like that to push us up straight to a new high. So my gut feeling now is this is a wider channel. So it may be a spike in channel like that. I don't think it really matters a great deal. So I'm going to leave that like that for now. Does look to me like there's a wider channel. I wouldn't expect such a tiny break after a reasonable sized channel and then just push straight up. So I am aware that there is a possibility of a break, and this thing could do something different, but right, let's see what happens here. Breakout, pull back, it'd be nice. I'd like to see that bearish bar trigger and then start to move a bit higher. Yeah, someone else has adjusted his now as well. And it looks okay. I don't think it looks terrible. But for such a small break and straight away a new high, it rarely happens with such a reasonable... I mean, it's not a huge channel, but there's a fair move in it from the highs to lows. It's still 37 points, so it's not a tiny channel by no means. Okay, so on my other chart, there is a failure there. There's a second entry short, which is triggered. It's too far from that EMA for me. Better to me to widen it. Yeah, there's a possibility of a long there. But I'm still a little bit cautious at the moment, and rightly so. Look at that. it's just where buyers are going to come in again if this thing does decide to push higher. So right to leave the failure. So I've left this chart with a break and a new high because I kind of like to see it from both angles. So back below the EMA and then back up. So that ATR's coming down. Good. I generally don't like taking trades in the 4 points. In fact, I should have a rule actually. If it does hit 4 points, I should drop down to a contract. In fact, I think I might over 3.5. I don't mind a $3,500 loss. I go for $300. So from now on, I think that's a good new plan for me. ATR over 3.5, go down to a contract, and maybe just go for 4 points instead of 3. That way, I can still make a reasonable profit. It is getting a little bit choppy here. Yeah, I think it's a bit dangerous trading here at the moment. This thing could flush down. Push up sideways. Okay, so it's laying down a little bit of support here, so it may push up from here. Yeah, where have you taken yours from, Bud? Have you taken yours from here, have you? Have you gone from there? Yeah, you have, haven't you? I'm kind of looking at the larger one, which we're still way off. Well, I say I'm looking at it. That is an area where it could push up to. But yeah, you've gone for that one, haven't you? I'd say that's definitely worth paying attention to. Good point. Yeah, overnight highs and overnight lows. I've put that line there as a reference as well. So, in fact, if that comes down a bit, we're more or less on it, aren't we? That could pull in a little bit. So, yeah, we're not far off. We're a tick or two, aren't we? That was my caution there. This thing could flush down, and it has done. So if you got into anything there, let's see what happens here as well. There is a higher low there. That's held at the moment. My gut feeling is it's not going to. Yeah, it hasn't. So it starts to get a bit stacked up there. I thought it may start to push. It's kind of why it just looks a bit dangerous to trade, doesn't it? So now and again, it will just do that. Decide to just take a little bit of a drop and clear up some cobwebs. It may be that. Yeah, I've still got it that way on my other channel. A break and a new high. There's a lower high there. I'm staying out of this at the moment because it has pushed down to here, so there is support here, so I would be inclined to just give this a little bit of space and let it try and figure out what it wants to do because it's not super clear at the moment. It is a possible I'm low or high on my other chart. This one I wouldn't. Oh, look, it's flickering around a bit now. So maybe this is the break. Maybe that is a fit, and maybe this is the break. In which case we could get a couple of legs down. As I say, such a small break to push up and make a new high. It looks too small to me. I'm not saying it won't happen, but it rarely happens. We have such a tiny break and then push straight up. Usually the larger the channel, the more scenic route it takes before it eventually does get up there. So I would prefer to see another leg down here. Trouble is, you can get to the stage where you keep widening it and widening it, and sometimes it ends up biting you in the arse. So I'm just going to give this a bit of space. It did look like there were some buyers there. This thing flicked down and then shut up. So there's definitely some buyers around there. I haven't got bookmap on at the moment. I have used it in the past. But there definitely seemed to be this thing dropped and then flicked up quickly. There seemed to be some buyers around there, which caused a quick, strong push up. It seemed to shoot up about 5 or 6 points pretty quickly. So yeah, Thomas Wade has changed his as well to the same as me, which I kind of like. So that same again though, break, 2 pushes straight up. It's a bit unusual. Break, 2 pushes, bearish bar. Just 800 contracts on the boot, was there really? Yeah, I occasionally I have bookmap up. I have in the past. I had it up for a few months, and I kind of know how it works, but I'm pretty sure there's a lot more to it than I thought so. And as I generally go for very small moves, it's less important, I think, but I do think it plays a part. Maybe better fit. In fact, I even started to watch. I watched something on YouTube last night, a little bit about it, but I ended up falling asleep. Let me just see if I can find it. History. I watched that much crap on YouTube. No, I can't find the thing. Okay, break, 2 pushes up to a new high. Let's see what goes on here. I mean, really, there is the possibility that we've had this and 2 larger pushes up to a new high. So perhaps there is more than just that. Perhaps it is a break. I wouldn't consider that necessarily made a new high. It did seem to have 2 larger moves up. So there is a possibility that that is the break. That's what you're watching. Yeah. Now I see 2 bigger moves, because really to have that and to say, okay, channel's played out, it could reverse now. So I would say I liked how it fitted initially, but that now looks like 2 pushes up. So this is crunch time. If it continues to push up, then I'll re-extend it back. But that measured move has played out, as you can see. So sometimes a measured move is kind of all you need, and then the thing may start to reverse. If it does continue up, then I'll rejig it, because there's always the possibility of something maybe slightly different, something like that. But we'll have to see. So. But after a break, I would consider that more of a scenic route up. We pushed up. We did come back before we pushed up again. So, so it does fit nice there. There's no arguing there. But when we have a break, tiny push like that. So that to me, I don't think was obviously clearly it was a small part of a bigger move. I'm surprised that's pushed up so much. Let's see now if this traps a few traders and we come down now for a second leg, and then there's always that possibility then that this thing starts to, whether it's from here or starts to come down. Yeah, I mean, ultimately, if price kind of stays above this area, then I think there's a chance it could go up, but I think we can say that's played out. I think I prefer that, actually. Try a little range high, yeah. So let's see what happens here. If this thing comes down and takes out that low here, we may find a move down. Trouble is, you can't just jump in there and go short, or even here, really. I think it's always best to give it 2 moves up, 2 moves down, and then see what's going to happen, because, it could continue high. There's always that possibility, but I'd like to give it a chance to come down and push higher first before I consider getting short. I'd want to get short, really, once it gets sort of down below this area, really. But there's a lower high there which is triggered. It could push up and trap some shorts. So it's that area really where it could kind of go either way. But I'm certainly avoiding longs at the moment and shorts because it's just a little bit unclear. It could go either way really. It depends how strong the buyers are. Yeah, Thomas Wayes just said waiting area for me was bullish. Was too bullish to sell without downtrend, but uptrend played out. So he's thinking we played out. I mean, it depends how you have it, but I think it's fair to say the chance of it's playing out, I think, is pretty high. I mean, you can't keep extending this, extending it. It just gets ridiculous. So you may extend it to there even if you like that one. Then we've had a break, 2 pushes to a new high. But I think that's too much of a smaller move for a clear breakout for me. But that is much more definitive as a clear break and 2 good clear moves up. So let's have a look here. I mean, it could continue up. There's always a possibility. But I would be inclined to just wait here. So this is interesting on my other chart. There's a second entry long there, stroke higher low. There's going to be shorts in there, I don't doubt it. And there's going to be buyers. There's going to be stops here and here. So it'd be interesting to see where this thing goes. It could push up or it could drop and stop out this. We've got a channel down, one attempt to go higher, second attempt to go higher. At the moment, it's still relatively bullish, so my gut feeling is it's more likely to go up, but it's, you know, it may be a toss of a coin depending on how you look at it. So if we get above there, then I'd say it may push a bit higher. If we get below there, it may reach these levels here, but it's a no trade area for me, really. It is a second entry long, and you may like that, but the fact that it is played out, I think it's time to be cautious, as that's interesting. That looks stronger. If I take a trade, a long trade, and the bar looks like that, it does give me a lot of confidence, but because we've already had a push to a new high, I'm just sitting out of this and letting it make up its mind, because there are no guarantees. So maybe now there is something wider. We still need to get above here and hold, I think. Now that wouldn't look terrible. Touch a few times here, touch, 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 but we still need to get above this and hold, I think. You just never know. If bulls get hold of things and it continues higher, sellers will probably sit back, I think. But there is second entry long work. Yeah, there is another measured move here. So there is a failure, a possible failure here as well. Second entry short. This hasn't triggered, but we've pushed up and made like a double top here. So same again, I'm a bit cautious about going long here. It's a bit risky going long and a bit risky going short. I think it looks like it's starting to work up, but we're not out of the woods yet, I don't think. Whether it goes up or down, I think it's a toss of a coin here. We have made a double top. Depending on how you look at this, we've certainly had a break of this channel. There may be something larger. We've got a touch, and a few touches here as well. Could make them look a bit nicer if we wanted to. It actually fits pretty nice, that does. But I wouldn't rely on that just yet. So 1, 2, 3. I don't know. It looks like maybe, I mean, it's clearly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's like 7 touches here, and it fits kind of nice there. So maybe it's interesting, this. Trouble is, there's going to be longs there. If that triggers bullish, there's going to be longs there. So this thing could come down to the bottom here and break below here and here, because it's kind of sideways as well. So same again, it's just a little bit unclear. It does look like it's working, but sometimes it just kind of gives you that appearance. This triggers, down it comes, stops out that, and then maybe makes its triple test. So I think it's just too dangerous to go long here at the moment, or trade period, I'd say. I'd sit tight here because there is support there, so this could come down. This is just not telling me it's strong enough to go higher just yet. And when you go long like that, that is not what you want to see. It may hold, but my gut feeling is I would not like to be in that trade. ATR's coming down now, good. So I'm pleased with that. It'd be nice to get it under 3. If it continues to go sideways, usually the bars are a bit smaller, so it should come down a bit quicker. These are quite larger, these bars. They're getting a lot smaller now. This could still come down. I would not like to be. Sometimes I've noticed the market will do that. If you don't get in there, it will give you another one and encourage you to get in. Then all of a sudden it triggers above it and comes down. That's something I've seen in the past. You know, if you're not sure there, sometimes it'll give you another taster, and as soon as that one triggers, then it'll come. But you can bet there's going to be stops there, and quite likely there as well, and that may be strong enough to hold price. But the fact that we're in this area again, it could come down and flush out some of that. It did it there. It went sideways there. If you'd have got in long there, or anywhere along here, it just came down enough before it pushed up again. It's frustrating how it does that. Don't know how many times I've been taken out by a few ticks and it ends up going in the same direction that you were trading it. Yeah, so someone else's baby squid's got that as well. I don't think it's terrible. So let's just kill the colour there. So if this does continue up, that would be my next area of interest, which is about 5, 10, 15, 17 points, 16, 17 points further up. It's moving up, but not super strong at the moment. We've pushed above this and then pulled straight back under, so great, that ATR. So that little bit of side was there, slowed those bars down. That's dropped it now comfortably below 3, so that's good. I like it below 3. If my risk is around about 3 points on average, that's what I go for profit-wise. So generally, it's a 1-to-1 for me. So a winning trade more or less counteracts a losing trade. So let's see if this does thing flush down. There'll be stops there, quite likely down there as well. And it did something similar there, took out something before it continued higher. So let's see if it breaks down there first. And then below that one. That one I'm pretty sure will go. I'd like to see that one as well because it is a second entry long. We'll see. Just doesn't look strong enough to hold there and to not take those areas out. So I'd be interested to see where buyers are on Bookmap, if there is many buyers. Let's have a look. Yeah, that's Bookmap at the moment. So we're down here at the moment. So there are some big orders up there. Well, 600 odd orders there. So is this thing going to get above there? And there's some down here as well at 650. So are we going to have a leg and a leg, or a second entry long? I still don't fully know how to read. I know generally how it works, Bookmap, but I don't know the ins and outs of it. It does look like something's working relatively neatly there. So maybe got two legs up, two legs and sideways to there. So maybe there is something working that way. I don't think it's terrible, you know that. A leg and a leg down to here. I don't think that's terrible. I kind of like that, I think. That's a touch flatter. Yeah, so we're touching there, touch, a leg and a leg. I actually kind of like that. So I'm just going to take a quick snapshot of that and see if anybody else on the forum is kind of looking at that. Why is that not working? Capture image. Okay. I need to be focusing on what I'm doing, don't I? Copy image. Bullish bar here, I don't think will be the end of the day. See how big this gets.
Order submitted. Order submitted.
I don't think that's terrible. 1, 2, 3. You may even call it a triple test. We've got a leg back and a leg back. I don't think that's terrible. It's two legs back. We'll see anyway. We could even call it a triple test. 1, 2, 3. It kind of is a triple test, and it's a second entry long. Oh, I don't like that. Yeah, someone else is in this. I don't like that though. Let's just leave it. Maybe a higher low here. I like the setup, so I should leave it really. Yes, it could get me, but you can't look at it like that. It is a triple test. Trouble is, it ends up going where I think it is. I like the setup. It's a second entry long. 1, 2, 3. It's a triple test. Yeah, sometimes it comes back a bit and spooks you, but I think sometimes you just got to let it go. Well, there's one or two others taking it. 2 I can see have taken it. It is a correction. It is 2 legs down. I like this setup. I've got to say, I like the setup. I'm tempted just to give it one extra tick. Sometimes it makes the difference on a situation like this. It may be. Why is that cancelled like that? I don't know what happened there. Strange. Strange. Oh, okay. Oh, it's okay. It's okay. Well, so I'm surprised that didn't work, actually. I actually like the setup. Yeah, 2 legs, a correction, bouncing off the bottom. I don't think it was a bad trade. So I'll stand by that. Unfortunately, sometimes it happens. Sometimes it sits below that. I was tempted to bring it to there, but I didn't. I gave it an extra tick. So it may make a difference, but it's just one of those things. Sometimes it happens. But I stand by the trade. I don't think it was a careless trade. Yeah, it's a losing trade, but it's just, it's how it happens sometimes. Yeah, I liked it. Strong buy off here, and it's been strong off there. So I like it. It does look like it's working up 2 legs down. So it's just unfortunate. Depends how you look at it, but a few people took it. Let's have a look. 1, 2. Well, I know 2 people definitely took it. I don't think it was a bad trade personally. But it happens sometimes. Sometimes if you've got something stronger, I was tempted to bring it down to there, but if I do that, that's an extra couple of ticks, so it takes it down even more. So I don't mind giving it a 1 tick, but I think ultimately, I think sometimes you're just best to just leave it where it is, and like Max says, don't mess with your trades. You've got the channel a little flatter. Yeah, the reason I like that is because it sits beautifully there. It sits beautifully there and nice at the top. So it's just one of those things. But I can't trade anymore now. It's locked me out. So 1 loss. So I'm okay with that. I ain't got a problem with that. I don't mind taking a trade as long as I believe it to be a good setup. And I like that one. It was a nice correction. 2 clear legs down. 4 touches of the key entry point, but now I could be wrong. Yeah. But yeah, I was tempted to bring it down there, but the trouble is then if you do that, it's just more loss, isn't it? So I'm okay with that. I mean, sometimes you may say wait for the higher low, but it was such a nice looking correction followed by a strong bull bar. I liked it. Sim now practice. I can't even trade on a sim now, to be fair. But I can just sit and watch the markets. That's fine. But it depends. This thing could be coming down. But to be fair, it doesn't look like it to me. Yeah, I've locked all my accounts. Even me sim won't let me get into a trade, but that's fine. I can do a mock one, can't I? Or I can finish early, whatever I want to do. Which is a shame, really. It went up for about 6 ticks. I was tempted to get out of it, but I thought, no, I like the trade. So what did it go up for? So I'd have got 6 ticks out of it. But maybe a higher low here. So sometimes those extra ticks do make a difference. The trouble is, when you do keep it tight, there isn't much room for manoeuvre. But to be fair, how I'm looking at it now, I still like it. I'd say the only thing that you may say cautious there is we're at the top of the range. We didn't quite get to the top there, but we had such a nice correction and a bullish bar, and we clearly bounced off there. You may say 1, 2, 3 triple test. But I don't mind losing a trade as long as I know I believed it to be a good one, and I did. I've got no qualms about that. But look, it'll be sod's law. It'll go up now, won't it? I'll tell you what I will say. Why that may have failed. We got a little range here. Now, when we have a breakout at the top, a lot of the time we'll have a breakout at the bottom. So I think that's why that might not have worked. But that's okay. I'm fine with that. I got no issues with that. So it might be the fact that we had a small break here, and often we have one in reverse, don't we? So, in fact, I'm going to finish now. Actually, I'm going to knock out on the head today. I'm going to have an early day today, I think. I can't trade any of my accounts now, so I'm going to finish early and do some stuff at home. I got a couple of little bits of DIY I want to do. So I've done an hour and 20 minutes anyway. So I'm going to love you and leave you. So best of luck. We'll see you tomorrow. Yeah, best of luck. I kind of want to walk away as well. Do you know what I mean? Hey, Chris, how you doing? You too, mate. I kind of want to walk away and not get stuck into it, you know. So although it won't let me trade again, I still kind of want to walk away. So I'll leave you guys to it. So have a great day. Stay safe. Have a great evening, and we'll catch up again same time tomorrow. Bye for now.